Might as well roll a ciggy while I'm chatting. Had a funny old day yesterday. Trying to get help for PTSD from when I was gassed by my next door neighbour, who, like I've said all along, seems to have been inserted into my life to cause problems. I've always been going on about the Investigatory Powers Act, haven't I? Well, in their codes of use for the government's Investigatory Powers Act, which can be employed by the local council or basically any government agency or organisation for the mere suspicion of a crime. Yeah, so if you, let's say for hypothetical reasons, decide to accuse their council of corruption, then they will go through your life. Yeah? And try and find something wrong or provoke you into a situation where you can be sectioned, imprisoned, or if you're deemed a threat to the state, actually kill you. That's on their terms of use, codes of use for the Investigatory Powers Act, right? Cigarette filter, right? Because it's been a stressful couple of days. Vapes just ain't cutting it. Oh, I'll give the camera a quick pan round in a minute. Because there's not much going on in here. Dogs have just come in from the garden, so they're not jumping up on the sofas. Yeah, got no glasses on at the moment because I've got to get some new holders for them because they've snapped. And frames are that bad that they're just going to fall off and break completely, so I can't afford to risk it. Dogs are behaving. But like I said, they've just come in out of the garden, and the garden's a bit muddy at the moment, so yeah, I've been watching a couple of videos today, but back on topic again. Right, Investigatory Powers Act. You accuse them of corruption, then they insert someone into your life to fuck your life up for a reason. Because it's all about provoking you until they get the information what they want. They don't care about your health. They don't care about anything else. Right? For the reasons sectioning, imprisoning or killing. Don't forget, before I got sent to prison, they attempted to section me. All you got to do is look back to the police video where they turned up at my house because I'd set the corner of a pip form on fire in an ashtray in my own house. I said, well, what's the point? I might as well fucking burn it. It's not worth the paper it's written on. Right? So they attempted to section me for that while they was recceing the building, which is an army term, isn't it? Meaning they want to come back because they're having a look. The corrupt probation officer who was on my case at the time, who managed to wangle another year of being investigated and being kept an eye on, he actually used the term, I suspect you're up to your old tricks. I said, no. So he actually used the term suspected. I said, what, is that suspected under the Investigatory Powers Act or what, mate? Don't know what you're talking about, he said. I said, okay, well, you play your little power game now. I'm not interested. Denied that I was having any issues with PTSD at the time, which I was trying to get help for then. It was already logged on my medical record that I'd been gassed by the neighbour, and I followed the doctor's advice and went and reported it to the police station. Right? Attempted murder, that is. Anyway, the asset was protected. I got sent to prison, end of story. Right. Well, now I'm getting treated for the PTSD because it was all logged while I was in prison, wasn't it? So they had proof that that's what I was suffering from. Any issues that occurred in prison due to that as well. So instead of fucking my life up, they ended up having to put it back together how it was. And I ended up losing my PIP and my ESA, being moved on to Universal Credit and PIP now, because it all got reinstated. And the new Universal Credit is 3 times more money than what I was getting previously. So whatever they attempted there for financial gain simply didn't work, because they ended up having to pay more. Okay, got that so far, because I'm trying to stay on topic. I'm very hyperactive at the moment because the sinus infection's back again from a couple of weeks ago. And I'm unvaccinated. Don't believe in that bullshit. It's a sinus infection I get every year. But this time, it's come back again, but less severe than it was a few weeks back, if you see what I mean. So, in other words, like, my body killed that one, and it's now attempting to kill this version of it as well. Going okay. Got the coffee sweats at the moment because I've upped my body temperature to kill the virus. Because that's how a body kills viruses, isn't it? Anyway, yesterday, guy from the mental health team phoned up about the symptoms and everything else. Sweating, anxiety attacks, shaking when it's triggered. You know, gets that bad that I have to literally get away from the situation, which doesn't help. It's just basically me running away from what's triggering it, so it doesn't help anything. It's just a natural response, isn't it? Fight or flight. So I've attempted to face it head on. Not working that way, so sought medical help for it. But because someone somewhere is protecting the asset next door, the other side of that wall, it's not PTSD. Apparently it's psychosis. I said, is that right? I said, well, I had psychosis back in the 80s. And it's definitely not psychosis. But that was from amphetamine use back in the 80s. And various other little smarties and things like that. So, yeah, it causes issues. But PTSD is what I'm suffering from, because when it happens, it transports me back to the moment when I was gassed. And then I start sweating, choking, blah, 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 blah. you know, so it's repetitive. Discounting psychosis. So this guy kept on and on and on. Anyway, I said, so are you here to talk about PTSD and help me with that, or are you... He said, well, I've got a few questions about when you spoke to the other lady. I said, oh yeah. I said, I was waiting for you to bring this up, but you go ahead. Started mocking me, talking about special powers. I said, oh, you mean the streetlight interference syndrome, do you? He said, what? I said, well, it's streetlight interference syndrome. It's not a special power, mate. Some people can do those things, some people can't. Simple as that. I said, there's nothing special about it. There's loads of people in the UK and in other countries that can do it. It's nothing special. It's just I was not one of those people that over the years, when I was told, oh, you can't think that way, I mean, it's like being told you can't listen to a Crash record because it's too political. You're going to listen to it and then you play the music, and you, and rebel as a kid, which was what I grew up like. Anyway, that being said, the situation, what I made the video about the end of a successful year, they don't like that. They don't like that one bit. And they're trying to term the sarcosis as, how can I put it? Because I'm not educated in that way. I don't have those sort of words to use. I'm not an orator. So I'm hyperactive. I've got loads of different thoughts in my head at the same time as well at the moment. So if I'm hyperactive, it will trigger the SLI, along with many other different triggers that will trigger it as well, like heightened anxiety, fear, heightened emotions like love, even sex can trigger a electrical response within the body. So it's a funny thing. It's very hard to explain, but there are other people that have that ability. It's not a special power at all. It's just basically the guy was mocking me. That aside, sat there thinking, I thought, what is he trying to make out? Some sort of psychotic break or something going on? What's his angle here he's coming from? Because I want help with the PTSD. The probation office is encouraging me to get help for the PTSD and stand my ground, while they're busy coming at me with other angles, which is what I'm doing. So anyway, this would be the second attempt to to me. Right. Today I phoned up first thing this morning to complain to my doctor about it, because it's being organised by the council's new revenue stream, which is mental health. So if you want help for PTSD, you have to go through a mental health team to get the help. You have no choice in that. A doctor can't do it for you. They have to recommend you to somebody else, yeah? Which, unfortunately, the council has just moved into that as a new revenue stream to top up their pensions. So the stress and that they put this country through lockdowns and everything, they are now profiting from the mental health issues that they've caused lots of different people. Yeah, they're actually profiting from it, which is more corruption. Yeah, it's a dog, Marnie. Shut up. I'm talking. Right, so we got that out of the way. This morning, I ring up to tell the doctor that my sinus infection has re-flared up. I'm starting to get lime green mucus coming from my sinuses again. And I've only got a certain amount of time until it moves from my sinuses into my throat tract and onto my lungs again. You have to get the timing right for the antibiotics, otherwise I need steroids and stronger antibiotics if I don't catch it in time. So usually my doctor will prescribe me them in advance and I keep them there as a backup, but the new normal being what it is, not allowed to do things that way now. Getting what I'm saying? So you have to beg for medical help. You don't just get it anymore. So last time they gave me 8 antibiotics and I thought, what the fuck's not even worth the effort taking them, but I've got to take them because of my illnesses. Yeah, got emphysema and asthma. Got to take it. Right? But I won't take their injections or anything else because they make me ill. You never get bit twice by the same snake, if you see what I mean. So that's that aside, right? I got invited down to the surgery this morning, right? I said, no. I said, first of all, I'm telling you about the sinus thing coming back. And then I want, put on my medical record that I want an official complaint logged against this mental health team for not treating the PTSD and instead probing and mocking me about other issues that they're concerned about, which is nothing to do with me. I simply want help with the PTSD. But for them to acknowledge it means they have to acknowledge what he did next door, which the police reckon they have no knowledge of, even though I was sent to them by my family and my doctor. That never came out in court, see, because they had to make me look the baddie, right? Because some guy gassed me, tried to start a fight with me, and then he got hit. Because he ran up to me and tried to knock my head off, which he threatened to do. Okay, well, I've done my time. Couldn't give a shit about it. Getting on with my life. The medication I was taking at the time was amitriptyline. Makes you very growly in the mornings. A fact that that person next door knew. Which is why he decided to catch me that time in the morning to start the fight with me and provoke me. You know, baiting me, telling me to go hang myself and all that sort of stuff. Why would you do that, you know? So I said, oh, okay, fuck you, fuck your dead wife. So he ran at me, tried to punch me. There you go, stupid idiot. You tried to punch me and you got fucking dinged for it, didn't you? What an idiot. Okay, anyway. They're trying to make out that the private medication I use for pain relief, which is cannabis, was responsible for that. And it wasn't. It was the state medication. Right? So you've got the panicking amongst the medical services because they think someone's going to get sued for it, basically. You know? No. No. Shh. Hey, lay down. I don't care if a dog's barking out there. Stop. Stop. Good boys. So that's the crux of that. I get invited down there before I've logged the official complaint. What was I going to try and do when I went down there? What do you think after using the language yesterday of the psychosis or psychotic breaks or whatever angle they're using, and they want me to go down there that day to either stick something up my nose to check it's a sinus infection or to use what they was trying to do yesterday. So I said, nah, ain't happening. Need to have a bath, I've got to sort my dogs out. By the time I'm ready, I'll get down there and the prescription probably ain't at the chemist, and then I'll kick off about it because I'll be very stressed then or something, and it's putting me right out. Going all that way just to be told, well, the medication ain't here yet, blah, 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 blah. Same old shit, different day sort of thing. So I said, nah, not happening. I said, if I can get down there tomorrow, I'll go tomorrow. If not, Monday. It's not happening, In the meantime, I'll look after myself and just stay away from people. Okay, he said. I said, right, I need to talk to a doctor then. But got a ring back from the paramedic. Like I said, I'm getting a little bit lost in the story here. Yeah, I got a call back from a paramedic, not a doctor. Today. He said, oh, don't worry about me being a paramedic. Only worry if I turn up at your door. I said, you don't need to threaten me, mate. That's why I'm not coming down there, because of what was happening yesterday. Now, I want that official complaint on my medical record, and I will check if it's put on there or not. Because that's my legal protection against the state. The same as how they use legal word spells against you in a court of law. If it's on my medical record, there's some record of it somewhere. And then if there's any funny business going on with any other agency, again, it's your legal protection. It can be followed up the chain by those that pay their wages. Especially if you've raised an issue about council corruption and they're now coming at you with their new revenue stream, the mental health unit. Do you see what I'm saying now? So section in prison or kill. While I was in prison, I had the main artery in this arm collapsed. As you can see, look, no vein comes to the top of the skin at all in that arm. The main artery does not come to the top of the skin anymore. They collapsed the vein in there. Blood test before I got released. I'll try and get a picture of it. Yeah, but it's not there anymore anyway. Basically, it's disappeared. It's down deep in my arm. Won't show itself again. So all the pressure, whatever blood tests I have to have done, have to be done in the other side. I had some liver issues that they picked up on in prison after the power cuts in prison happened. How dare you be that cocky with us? Yeah, worry about that instead. Anyway, that magically disappeared. Just magically disappeared. All right. But they told me that they want to give me blood tests every so often. Yeah. And then I found out that's for liver cancer reasons, to do with that same issue. And I thought, oh, fuck, that's all I need to be worrying about, isn't it? But anyway, I'm not worrying about it because I didn't believe it in the first place, the same as I didn't believe about the COVID bullshit. Like I said, it magically disappeared. The only reason I can think of for the blood test would be to see if I'm still COVID free and all that sort of bullshit. So I'm simply not playing along with it. And I've got damage to which my body is actually fighting to do with the vein and the circulatory system. So why would I want them poking more holes in that same circulatory system, if you get what I'm saying? So I've told them no more blood tests, no more nothing until my body's sorted this out. And if my body can't sort it out, then there's proof that I was damaged by the state. Okay? That's why I'm taking that angle with that. So, you know, you don't want anything or any medication that's going to be messing about with your circulatory system, do you? Hulk, get over there. You are not getting up on this settee yet. Good boy. Yeah, it's very hard to keep my train of thought at the moment because I've had a couple of coffees today. Just been pottering about getting the coffee sweats while I kill this virus off for the second time. It's just a dirty cough again that's back slightly, you know what I mean? So someone's reinfected me with it basically, haven't they? You know? Not bothered about it. It's just a cold and a cough. But because I won't believe their bullshit, I'm getting a bit of jip off the, what do they call it now? The health security people. You know, they've got to have security from their health service, haven't they? Because pharmaceuticals are profits. Health security. UK health security. Anyway, we won't go down that route, will we? Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on a media story as well, which I'll go into a little bit in a minute. We're on 27 minutes already, so maybe not. There you go. That's all I can think of at the moment, because I don't want to go over the half an hour mark. I'm at 27, 28 minutes now. There you go. That's why I haven't been making videos lately. Been keeping quiet because I know my videos are being monitored. So I'll watch what I say, and if I want to take the piss back, I take the piss back through my social media accounts. I don't take the piss back with other channels, so don't get me wrong on that one. But when I see them getting the same sort of problems, and they haven't quite worked it out yet, then I tend to drop a video just to alert them to how they're being fucked about as well. That's the only reason I do these videos, for other people to learn from, basically. Someone can get a bit of knowledge out of it, get a bit of knowledge out of it. But if they use the Investigatory Powers Act against you, they can do it for suspicion of a crime. So if they think you're wangling benefits, suspicion, yeah? But everything's filmed in prison, so they knew I weren't lying. So that was them fucked. They had to pay up and put it back to normal afterwards. Now they're trying to protect the asset, like I said, and deny I was ever gassed. Why do you think my emphysema's worse?